Hello there, it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee. Okay, so today I have a man's t-shirt and I'm going to upcycle it. Now, okay, cheap t-shirts, yeah, they do come in big sizes, but I don't think they ever come long enough. You know, if you're, well, 6'5", then, you know, these cheap t-shirts are never really long enough. So what I'm doing, cheap t-shirt, I know it is quite thick fabric, it's quite nice, and I am just trimming off all the excess of the previous arm. I have two new arms in a different colour, and I'm going to sew them on with the overlocker. I have the sewing machine all set up and ready. And to make it longer, rather than sewing on a strip at the bottom, I'm going to sew on a strip in the middle. So it's quite important to get it lined straight up. Now I'm doing it by the folding method because I just find it better that I've got less chance of going wrong. So I folded it in half. I'm making sure that it's all flat. And then I folded it again. Now it really depends. Do you have sharp scissors? I've got craft scissors that I don't mind ruining. So all I'm doing literally is cutting one line and then I will sew in one strip of the contrasting fabric. Okay. So let's get this arm sewn in before we do anything else. I have my overlocker all set up. First of all, I need to take my arm, and now that I have the next surface prepared, what I need to do is to prepare the arm. Now once you've cut the original sleeve out, you can quite easily just trace around it. But remember, cut on a flat surface, and yeah, make sure you have hem allowance as well. So I'm sewing up the sleeve right side to right side. I'm going to do both of them because I didn't check to see which one I'd got. I know I've only cut one sleeve off so far, so just bear with me. And then simple as. Making sure the ends are going to meet up. Yeah, because if I only sew one, then you know I'm going to sew the wrong one, aren't you? So, which is just life. So now I have my garment with the sleeve hole. Now I've made sure I've left a bit to sew onto so that I didn't cut all the way through. I'm going to turn my sleeve the right way round, and I'm going to place the bottom hemline to the bottom, and I'm going to start at the bottom, and then I'm going to sew round. So if there's any stretching or anything that I need to do, I'm going to do it in between those points. So let's get sewing and then I'll explain more. So I've joined on the bottom seam with the bottom of the garment, and it is a matter of laying it out every step of the way. Now I've sewn up probably a quarter of a way there. I'm going to make 100% sure that my top meets the top of the garment. So and then now that I'm at the top, I'm just going to make sure that the bottom is going to meet the bottom. Now I know that sounds a bit obvious, but if I've gone terribly wrong, then I'll need to sort it out quite quickly really. So yeah, I just keep on sewing and then that's joined up. Okay, now the strip's quite easy as well. We're going to make sure that the garment is inside out so we can see this seam. Sorry, I'm very tired this morning. So we've got the garment the right way round. You have got the garment the right way round. And from this seam, I'm going to take this strip and I'm going to sew right side to right side. Now what I've done is I've made sure the strip is long enough, and I'm going to give myself just a little bit of a hem allowance. So it's up to you whether you measure the two bits together or you measure the two bits apart. What I'm choosing to do is measure them apart. I'm going to sew round and then I'm going to trim off the end and then I'm going to sew it together. So if I follow that round in one whole circle, then I can take the next piece and then sew it on to the bottom of this t-shirt. So that's me, and then I'm going to move machines onto the other one. So I'll get up to date and then we can hem the sleeves. But as everything else is already hemmed because we've saved those, then we should be okay. Hi, so welcome back. So basically, I've sewn on my two sleeves and I've sewn on my strip, and this means that I've got just a bit of extra length. So now I need to hem the seam. So we've changed machines. I'm now on a traditional type sewing machine. There's nothing complicated about this machine. I'm going to fold this sleeve once, try not to stretch it so it doesn't curl, and then I'm going to place it under the sewing machine. So now that I've got it under, I'm treating the foot as my third hand, I can readjust it a bit more. Now you're welcome to sit here and pin it, just because I'm not doesn't mean you shouldn't. So basically I'm sewing it on a zigzag stitch, and I'm going to sew that all round, all one loop round. And that's what I'm left with. So a wavy line, not a full line. And then to stop it from sort of pinging up, because they kind of roll and twist, I'm going to top stitch it. So I'm going to place this underneath the sewing machine and I'm going to sew round again. Now the reason I'm using a zigzag stitch is so that it's like a stretch stitch. Now a lot of machines do have a zigzag stitch, but they don't necessarily have a stretch stitch. But there's not a lot of difference, you know, maybe a stretch stitch is more tidy. So let's see if I can rethread this machine and get that there. So simple matter, making sure the back is out of the way. I'm going to place it and I'm going to use the previous line of stitches as a guide, and I'm going to use the foot as a guide. So, and now all I have to do is follow this round, and every step I've got this pushing the back of the sleeve away. So, turning it round. And because this is visible, we have to keep it as straight as possible. So it's quite nice because I've got this older type machine that I can, oh, my scissors have just fallen on the floor, go slowly if I want to. So now I'm just coming up to the previous loop and I've still got that finger there pushing the other side away. And what I'm going to do is literally line those stitches up. So rather than going backwards and forwards, which would damage the fabric, because this is quite thin fabric, then I'm just going to do that. Now, yes, you have to do it. You have to trim all these ends. It's just life. And yes, it's either one of your least favourite jobs or your favourite jobs. But it does need to be doing. And whilst I'm doing all my cutting, I'm checking that all my seams are together so that I am literally finishing the garment. You know, we say finishing the garment, but what it means is we are checking it really as well. So, I know, there we are. A very simple upcycle, men's t-shirt. And yeah, well, I hope you found it interesting. My name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee, and please like, share and subscribe. Thank you ever so much.